Somewhere around 2003 and 2004, my sister Lee Russell was associated with the theater as a director. And she had been trying to get me involved with the theater, and I really wasn't a theater person. So she said, all I want you to do is to build a train for me for the show Music Man. And I said, well, I can do that.
I guess the biggest challenge was breaking him of his engineering talents. I mean, this guy really knows what's going on, and we're theater, and the difference between theater and engineering is not much, but it's in the approach. And I think Leo finally learned that it's a whole lot easier to do theater because you don't have to be as good. But we had a great time working on all kinds of projects.
I served on the board for a number of years as the treasurer, involved with all of the financing part of how we keep the theater running, because there was a period of time when we were really rubbing nickels together to keep the doors open and the lights lit.
He understood the daily workings of going on here and each line item on our budget and what we needed to do and where we could change and where we maybe needed to expand and spend more money. So he really knew it, and we spent a lot of time working on budgets, seeing where we could either cut back, maybe needed to spend more. He had a great overview of what this theater needed.
Theater people tend to love to spend money they don't have, and it takes hardcore management people to somehow modify the wants and the needs so that we get what we need, but we don't go crazy with what we want. That's always been a challenge. I'm sure there are people in the theater that didn't like Leo because he was serious about survival. And quite frankly, without his techniques and abilities, we would not have survived.
He's just, nothing seems to get him down. He's always upbeat. He's an absolute joy to be with, either business or in my home, having dinner with us. A delightful man. And we also had the privilege of having him in an office the better part of a year while he was mentoring and helping Angelina to step in the position of executive director.
He sat by my side and showed me the ins and outs of managing, just managing. He was an IBM manager for a long time, and he's volunteered here at Bern Civic Theatre. So combining those two skills and teaching me how to do the day-to-day operations, showing me numbers, showing me how to file things, how to come up with policies is actually minuscule to the other lessons that he taught me. He taught me that mistakes happen, brush yourself off, and you keep going.
He's a great guy. He's been the best father, best husband. He pushes me into doing things that I wouldn't normally do. And I love him to death. I mean, I could brag on and on and on, but that's not good.
We did California Suite in 2007, and part of the storyline was it was in the Beverly Hills Hotel. And instead of using our stagehands, our backstage people dressed in black as just, you know, moving props and running the show from behind the scenes, we thought it would be really funny if they were the maids and, you know, the bellhop. And that's what Leo was. He was the bellhop. So I was the first person to put Leo Minervini in a show.
And I practiced for a while just with the right look as I walked past an open door and saw what was going on the stage.
They have great service here. Someone will find you and they'll take really good care of you. Oh my goodness!
I actually had the pleasure of directing Leo in his one speaking role on stage, the one speaking role that I'm aware of, and it was in the comedy night that we did some years ago, and it was for a piece that I wrote called Angels with Filthy Souls, and he played the Godfather, and he spent about 20 minutes on stage in this skit with a bunch of cotton stuffed in his mouth, and had a few lines at the end, and he was petting a stuffed cat the whole time. And it was such great fun seeing Leo, this wonderful man who I'd seen working behind the scenes in all these wonderful capacities, keeping this building up and running and on its feet, and seeing him up there, he seemed to have a pretty good time doing that.
We'll be a safe haven for debauchery and drunkenness. We'll charge whatever we want. We'll limit whoever we want. We'll be the biggest success in town, and the sky is the limit.
After the show was over and I played the Don, the role of the Don, and I was in a tuxedo with a white scarf. And the show was over and I went to change and realized that I had done the whole show sitting down and standing up, and my fly was unzipped. And my wife pointed that out to me and says, it's a little late to tell me about that. But I don't think we did anything or exposed anything that was inappropriate. It was just embarrassing.
And he loves The Godfather. Listen to his cell phone.
Really?
He's got the music of The Godfather on
I did not know that.
it. If it rings and you hear the music of The Godfather, you know his phone is ringing.
Whatever, if you got a problem or anything, when you went back to your desk, you always felt like it was solved and his door was always open. A wonderful, wonderful individual.
He gives you his full attention. He listens to what you have to say. He may not agree with you, but that's okay. And some of the greatest conversations that Leo and I had, we'd be like, well, I have to think about this. Well, I'm not sure about that. You gotta be kidding me. No, I think, okay, let me think about that. I always respected Leo's opinion, and he always respected our opinion here at the theater.
And we've had our knockdown battles. We've both stomped our feet and argued. And I think that's one of the things that I love about Leo is it never affected a relationship that we had. And I think a lot of people will say this, he's like our father.
The reason Bern Civic Theater has survived is because people like Leo and June and a lot of others have contributed time, energy, resources, and volunteered it all. They gave us this opportunity.
I like the organizational things that are happening, and I don't feel bad about leaving because it's in great hands.
Well, we'll take you as long as we can. Leo, thank you so much.
You're quite welcome.
You the man.
Yeah.
If there ever was a surprise for an award, this was it. You are very good at keeping secrets. All of you, Dorothy. You know, for a fella who, before coming to New Bern, my idea and involvement of theater was watching Larry Moe and Curly in black and white on television. And for some of the younger folks who don't know who they are, that's the Three Stooges. And but as the film showed, I did get involved just a little bit with the technical thing to build on stage, and it caught on. It caught on. I can't say that I came here wanting to get involved 24/7, but as time went on, that's just almost what happened. And so whatever small part I played in getting the theater on a good footing, and to be able to continue to have evenings like this, I'm very pleased with that. By the way, Knox made a comment about that we haven't had to use our fund in a number of years. I don't want to tell him, but I took the money a long time ago. The other thing that I want to make is tonight when I came in, I saw so many new, fresh faces that I had not had the opportunity to work with. And you are the future of the theater. You are the future of the theater, and some of you over time will know where all of the good things to do in the theater are and where some of the other things are that you have to roll your sleeves up and just get to work. And I encourage you to do that. This is a wonderful theater. It's made up of wonderful people, and not only on the stage, but the staff. And I must also mention the board. The board has worked hard over the years that I was part of them, and I'm sure they continue to do that to keep this thing alive, because it's too good to let it die. And so I would encourage you to look at this as not only enough of a challenge, but an opportunity to grow. And there's all parts of the theater, and there's room for everyone. So once again, thank you all, and this is a lovely evening.